Okay, let's begin. Okay, so we'll be looking at this topic. Like, it's a very broad topic, to be honest. So this is the greedy approximation algorithm. So like, okay, so okay, so before we start, I'll not like define this particular term, like what we actually mean by approximation in, say, in algorithms perspective. But like English meaning also you can keep in mind. Like approximation is something which is close to what you want. Okay. So yeah, keep the English meaning in mind. Algorithms, like I guess since your first year is completed, so you guys have at least the basic PDS knowledge. So whatever step by step procedure you did there, formally it's called as algorithms. Okay. So that's it. Like nothing. So whatever you have a problem statement, and you have to find something. So you write a code. So basically, what's a code? Logically, it's some step-by-step procedure. So whatever step-by-step procedure you write, it turns out to be an algorithm. And greedy is what I'll sort of give you an intuitive idea. So like, so you suppose uh, you want to say achieve something, okay, and logically you see that if you do something like repeatedly, you achieve that purpose. Okay, so it's like being greedy. So like one simple example would be um, like just a simple example would be like okay, so I gave you, say, 10 rupees, okay, and I asked you to uh, not 10, say, let's be more, say 1,000 rupees, and I asked you to buy, sorry, buy, say, as many, say, chips packet. So what would be your natural choice? You will be buying those chips packet which cost the least. Okay. So you say the least cost is 5 rupees one. So you'll keep buying the 5 rupees chips packet. So in a way you're acting greedily. So uh, here also you can keep the English meaning in mind. So basically you are basically making a simple choice. Okay, buy the chips packet which costs the least, and you keep buying it. Okay, so this is the greedy choice. So when you are, say, designing any algorithm, if you can identify such greedy steps which will help you achieve your goal, then it's called a greedy algorithm. Okay, so even this is also a greedy algorithm in a way, just doing stuff greedily. Okay, so so let us now begin our session formally. So can someone confirm, like, whether I'm still audible or not, like, in case?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, fine. Okay, just give me 1 second. Yeah. In case like I lose connectivity or like in something, just reply in the chat box. That would be enough actually. Like I have this thing in my mobile also. So in case there is some connectivity issue which I face, just type in the chat box. Just 1 second. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's begin. So I'll be discussing two problems today. So like these are very basic problems. Okay. So in that problem, we want to achieve something and we want to design a greedy algorithm for it. Okay. So let's look at the first problem. So the first problem name is called K-center problem. Okay. So, so what is the problem statement? Uh, so the problem statement is like, say you have a 2D plane. Okay. So assume this is the 2D plane and you're given some points on the 2D plane like this. So these are some points. Okay. Okay. Now I'll first describe the problem geometrically, then I'll write it formally again. So what do we aim to find here geometrically? So we want to find K circles, okay, of say radius r, such that the two conditions hold true. When you the center of the circles is one of the points above. Okay, and second is all the points lie inside at least one circle. Okay, so say like basically you have to find circles so say 1 2 3 4 5 6. So suppose K was 6. Like assume that the circles have same radius, like just for explaining sake I wrote like this. So obviously like with one circle itself you can do it, like you can choose a very large radius and you can cover all the points keeping one of the points as center. So what would be the natural question? The natural question is how small can this r be? Okay, or in algorithmic question would be find such K circles of minimum radius. Okay, so the radius of the circles should be as small as possible. So basically let that radius be r star. So this is the least possible radius which satisfies these two properties. So we want to find this r star, or we want to find the and like basically we want to find the r star and the circles. So that's the question which we have. So this is like geometric interpretation. Now I'll give you a algorithmic, sorry, I mean a mathematical question. So this is a mathematical version. Okay, so say you're given some set of points S and you have to find some set of points V. Okay, such that okay, so you have to find okay, you have to find set of points V such that like So say this is the distance like between 2 points, say I and j. So okay, just 1 second. Let me rub this part. So, okay, let me define properly. Okay. Okay. Minimize maximum distance I and j. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Okay. So say this is. So say we define this mathematical quantity, say max min distance ij. So distance ij is basically the distance between points I and j. Okay. So we want to find a set V of points such that this contains k points from this set S, exactly k points, and this quantity R is minimized. So this is the mathematical version. So let me just take you through it properly. So what does this expression mean? This particular expression here. Okay, so it means that for a point I, what is the closest point in this set V? Okay, so this is what that distance mean. Okay, so for each point we have this distance. Okay, distance 1, distance 2, and so on. Among these distances, what we do, we pick up the maximum distance. Okay, so we pick up the maximum distance, and we want to minimize it. So can someone like from the audience say why like these two definitions are same basically? Like this is a geometric version of the same problem, and this is a mathematical version. So can someone say like why these two examples are same, like in a way? Like what we are trying to do is same in both of these problem statements which I wrote. Like can someone try to attempt? Or like if this mathematical version is not clear, you can ask. I can explain it.
Mathematical version isn't clear to me. Can you explain it once again?
Okay, so just read. Okay, just read this expression. Okay. So in mathematical version, what we want to do is that we want to find a set V, which is a subset of this set S, and the set V should contain k points. Okay. Now we want to find this set V such that this particular expression here is minimized. Just look at this expression. So what does this expression mean intuitively? So for each point you find the closest point in the set V. Okay. For each point I, you find the closest point in set V, and let that distance be say D1, something like that, or Di. Okay. Now your R is maximum of all such Di's. Okay. Yeah, K is given. Yeah, K is part of input. So yes, now you have to find this R. So for every choice of V, you have a particular R. Okay. Now I'm asking you to find that particular V which minimizes this R, which minimizes this particular value R. So my aim is to find such a V. So I hope the problem statement is clear now. Is it clear?
So, like, you mean we select a point from these K points and then first find the minimum distance point for it, and like for all such points we maximize this, like we find the minimum distance for all points and we choose the maximum one from it.
Yeah. That is the definition of R.
Okay, and then we want to minimize that R.
Yeah, because for each for each subset V which contains K points, it will have one particular R value. For each subset, the R value will differ. That is
Yeah.
obvious. Now my aim is to find such a V which minimizes this R value.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So what is the correlation with this and this problem, like this geometric version? It's pretty much simple. It's very easy to explain. So like suppose you found a set V which sort of minimizes that R. So say let us denote it by R star. R star is the minimum R which is possible. So what does it mean? For each point, what is okay, so for each point, okay, so let this be set V, okay, and let this be the remaining points, okay. So what does this mean? This means that every point is at most a distance R star from one of the points in V. Okay. So that is what we get from mathematical version. Now, if you draw a circle of radius R star from these points in V as center, just draw it. Just keep drawing them. So the question is, will all the points be covered? So the question is, will all the points be covered? Can someone answer this?
Yes.
Can you give the reason?
Because R star is the maximum distance. So like other points will have less distance than R star with the points in V. So any circle which I draw with center which is present in V will always have like radius less than equal to R star.
Yeah, so basically, so what I'm guaranteed is that these points, like if you consider these as centers, then these points here will be like at most a distance from one of the centers. So if you draw a circle with radius R star, then this point will be part of at least one of the circle, especially that circle. So if this was the center with which it had a distance of at most R star, then it will be part of this center's circle. So that is what we mean by, so this is why like it's sort of the same problem. You obviously have to show the other way, but I'm not showing it. What we do, we'll keep this definition in mind. I just gave both definitions so that Because usually when you deal with any say computer science problem, they usually define the problem in this fashion. But in order to make you understand, this is a very better problem. And the problem definition, like the name comes from this particular interpretation. So they'll recollect. So you're given a number. So you have to find case circles such that the center of the circles is one of the points, and all the points lie inside at least one circle. And you have to find such circles which have minimum radius, like the least possible radius. So I hope the problem statement here. The geometric one is fine, right?
Your voice was lagging actually in the last 1 minute or 30 seconds or so.
So is it fine now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm asking whether this geometric version is fine or not.
Yeah, it's clear.
Like the definition. Yeah. Okay. So let's okay. Now let's proceed to find some algorithm for it. Okay. So just give me 1 second. Okay. So bad news here. So bad news is that it is difficult to find an algorithm like which has obviously good performance. Like by good performance, I'll tell you later at the end what I mean. But like it is difficult to find a good algorithm. Like let us say good algorithm. Good and like instead of good, I think a better word would be fast. Find a reasonably fast algo which finds minimum R. Okay, so let us the like minimum R by R star. So it is like it is difficult. Like you can like there are some uh, uh,
Your voice is lagging.
proofs which show that you it is difficult to find some fast algorithm where solve exactly. Like just can someone else Yeah, am I audible now? Is it fine?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, fine. No, it's going on. You can continue. Whoever messaged. Uh, yeah. So okay, I'll just okay. So as I was telling, uh, yeah. So it's difficult to find K circles of radius r star. Okay, which covers all the points. So so what do we do now? So should we give up and go ahead? Obviously no. So so the good news is that we can find a reasonable solution. Like by reasonable, what I mean, I'll say. So what I can do. So remember, r star is the minimum possible r. Okay. So what I propose now is that I can give you k circles of radius at most 2 times r star. Okay. Which covers all the points. Okay. Obviously, the centers, like whenever I say circles, assume that the centers is one of the points. I'll not repeat it. So this is what I'll give you like as a guarantee. So this is what I mean approximation. So I'm not giving you the exact solution, but I'm giving you a reasonably good solution. So which is within a factor 2 of the actual answer. So okay. So algorithm. Okay. So for this, I just want someone from the audience to give some intuitive algorithms which you might think of. Like say when I say I give you k points. So I give you say I give you this point. So what is the intuition like? Let's go to the intuition. Algorithm is very straightforward, but let's try to come up with the algorithm at least. Analysis I'll show, but like can someone attempt at some algorithm? Like so you say so your job here is to choose the set V, okay, of k points. So once you choose the set V of k points, then finding the radius r for this particular thing is very trivial. Like it's just this particular formula. As I where's the thing? Oh, okay, just give me 1 sec. Okay, I think I deleted. Okay, fine, no problem. Okay, so the radius, yeah, fine here. Okay, just give me 1 second. Okay, fine. Okay, yeah. So once you have the set V, you can just the calculating radius is quite easy. This is the formula for calculating radius. So you need not worry about calculating radius. All you need to worry about is what are those k points which will be choosing as centers. Say the k points. Say k is 4. So what are those k points which I will choose as centers? Okay. So any intuition, like any like anyone want, like does anyone want to try any algorithm, like
Yeah,
any
like
intuitive algorithm?
I'm thinking of one way. Like we can first start with a like a random point, and then
Yeah.
like try to find other points such that they're like not the nearest to them, like which are like spread out a bit. Like let's say we
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so that's the thing which I was looking for. So so what he was suggesting is, first you pick up any random point. See. And then pick up points which are sort of far away from the previously chosen points. Because like intuitively, if you think, like if you choose such a like if say you have one center here, okay, now obviously choosing nearby points won't be of that use, because you might be sharing lot of points. So it's better that you choose another center which is quite far away from it, so that you'll cover more number of points. So that's the intuitive algorithm. So this is a greedy version. So you're thinking greedily. And it turns out that this is the algorithm which I was going to show. So it's good that someone from the audience actually came up with the intuitive algorithm. So now let me like formally write the algorithm, formal algorithm. So for others, like I hope it is fine. If not, just stop me in between. I don't mind.
Actually,
So
I have a doubt.
yeah, tell.
Like, can we, if we are supposed to find k points, can't we
Yeah,
like divide the given points in k sections and choose the middlemost point of each section as v, like something like that?
I think like yeah, that is also one more algorithm. Okay, I'm not denying that it won't work, but we have to analyze. Like once you propose any algorithm, even you have to sit and analyze, like whether it's a good algorithm or it's there's some bad examples which makes its performance quite bad. So yeah, that is also one more good algorithm. So we can even sit and think about it. But just remember this particular statement here, like it's sort of shown that you can't find the exact algorithm. So whatever you do will be a sort of approximation, not an exact algorithm. So you can't give me a very fast algorithm. Like what you told is actually a fast algorithm. Divide into k sections and choose the middle point among them, or one of the points, one whatever. But I'm pretty much sure that you can't. The circle's radius won't be r star. It will be more than r star. That much I can assure. But whether it will be as good as this, that I cannot deny at this moment. We have to sit and analyze. But that's a very good another algorithm. So okay, so let's look at the first formal step. So let's okay, so we have this, okay, we have this set S, okay, given. S is given, K is given, okay. Let us initialize V2 empty set, okay. Or not initialize to empty set, let's add a random element to it. So add some element, so some element I to it randomly, okay. Okay. Now what do we do? While mod b is less than k, we do this. We do these steps. So just one second. Okay. So what does this step mean? So so this means that you want to find J such that say you take the current set V. So if every point outside V, like okay, for every point outside V, find the closest point in this set V. Okay, and we note down its distance, say di. So every point has such di values. Okay, among them, find that J which has the maximum di. Okay, so maybe this thing, maximum di or dj in this case. So so we choose that J and we add it in V. Yeah. So this is what we do. So what this is one, like, what does argmax mean? Like mathematically, what does argmax mean is that it's the value of J for which this expression is maximized, like this particular expression. So it is the value of J for which this particular expression is maximized. So just keep this in mind. You can have a look at this for 1 minute. I'll just leave you. Just this is the algorithm. You can see this is the algorithm. This is S minus V here. So obviously we want to choose a point outside V because points inside V are already inside V. So no sense of adding it. Just have a look at it. So I hope the algorithm is clear, right? Or does anyone has any query? You can ask me.
How does the algorithm work when V has two elements? Like after this.
Okay, okay, it's a good question. Okay, so suppose I'll just show you example. It will be better. So say you currently V has 2 points. Say say A and B. That would be better. And say you have outside also some 2 points for simplicity. Say I and okay, say I and J. Okay, so say I'm just giving you an example. So 2, 3. So it may be what should I write? Okay, it's okay. Okay, so now so for point I, what is the closest point? A. Okay, so its distance is 2. For point J, what is the closest point? It's B. And what is its distance? It's 4. Okay, sorry, B. Now, which point do we choose? We choose J because among these two, 4 is the maximum. So we add this J to the set V. So is the algorithm clear?
Here also J is closer to A only, no? Because it is 3.
We have written
Oh,
three.
sorry. My bad. Sorry. I should have swapped it. Sorry. I meant this. Yeah. This is 4 and this is 3. Yeah. So now it's clear, right?
Yes, so it should be A3 here too, like in the distance of J and B.
Oh yeah, sorry. Thanks. Like the small minor issues. Yeah, just. Yeah. So 3 is the maximum. So we add j to the set V. So it's clear now, right? How we are choosing the next point to be added to set V. So so whoever asked that question is fine, right?
Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah. So this is the way we are adding. Very simple, like simple way to add this set. Okay. Algorithm is also quite simple. I think like for a PDS guy coding, this will be it will take at most 1 or 2 minutes. Like very easy to code. I think you can do it with some 2 or 3 for loops done. Like the code is very simple. Okay. So the beauty of such algorithms is not in the algorithm actually, but in the analysis. Okay. So I gave you this algorithm, but what's the guarantee that it will work good, like reasonably good? So let's show it. Okay. So for analysis, so now we let me show you the analysis. Okay, so let me go to the next page for analysis because it will take one page. Okay, let's do the analysis. Okay, so um, so say so for the analysis, so let us think of the okay. So obviously we know that there are some K circles with radius r star which cover all the point. Okay. Okay. We know this is there because obviously there has to be some minimum guy, right? Well, it's a well ordering principle, so obviously it'll have some minimum guy. But it's a different issue that we cannot find it. But we know this such circles exist. Okay. So just since we are doing analysis, not algorithm, so we can obviously draw them here. So let's draw them. So let's draw them. Okay. Okay. So each of them has one center. So this is the say the circles which give you R star. Not these are not the circles of our algorithm. Okay. So these are not the circles of our algorithm.
Like I had just one doubt, like points, all the points may not necessarily be lying on the circumference, right? They can be inside the circle.
Yeah, they can be inside the circumference also.
Okay.
Not an issue. Yeah. Yeah, it can be inside or on the circumference. Okay. So okay, so this is the solution which gives you R star, not our algorithm solution. Okay. So let us look at two cases. Okay. So the case one is so this so remember the set which we chose, set V of k points which we chose. Okay. Suppose this so let us classify these are circle set of circles, let us call as C. Okay. And let us write it as C1 up to CK. Okay. So case 1, every circle Ci has exactly one point in it from V. Okay. So basically we have k points here in V. So these k points are part of exactly one, like they are part of different circles. So basically it means that no two k points this in V are part of the same circle. So this is the first case. Okay. Okay.
So these K points are in addition to the central one, right?
Yeah,
Like
they
this.
can coincide with the center, or they might not coincide with the center. But yeah, because but in case one, the only thing which we are like sort of assuming is these points lie in one, like no two points from V lie in one circle. So that is what we are ensuring. So basically, these points in V are in separate circles. Okay. So what happens if this is the case? Then if you take any point, okay. So what will be the distance between these both? Like this is just our chosen center, and this is some arbitrary point in this circle. So what is the distance between these 2 points? So distance, so the radius of this circle is r star. Okay. And this is some arbitrary point in one circle. Okay. So what can be the maximum distance between 2 points in a circle?
2R star.
Yeah, 2r star.
Like
So
I
if you,
had a doubt in the definition. Like you're
yeah,
saying that the CI should have exactly one point in it from V. But
yeah,
like isn't it contradictory? Like their central point is also a part of V, and then we are taking an
no,
additional
central
point.
point is not part of V, right? V is the set of k points which we chose. And these k points, these centers are the centers of this k circle. Like the optimal, these are the centers
Okay,
of
okay.
the optimal solution, like the best possible solution.
Okay, so
This
like
is the best. This is the best possible, and this one is our solution, our algo solution.
okay, so like we are saying that the centers, like we have chosen some points, like the set of points we have chosen is denoted by V, and then we are
Yeah.
making the circles using those points. Like in the
No.
above diagram.
Circles are made. Upper these circles are the circles which give you the best possible solution.
Okay, so yeah, so they are from the correct answer, and
Yeah.
the points like we are talking about in our case one, that they lie in, that the CI is exactly one point in it from V, that is from the set of points that we chose from the above
Yeah.
algo.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got confused.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah. So now, if this is the case, and if you choose some arbitrary point J, obviously this J will belong to some circle. Say this is J, and we told that every circle has one center point. So let this be the center point. So the distance between them, these both is at most 2r star actually. So so we have, so the point, so in this case the solution which we chose, the algo solution, those circles will have at most 2r star radius in this case. Why that is the reason? Because from one of the center, uh, okay, so for an arbitrary point J, one of the centers is at most a distance 2r star from one of the centers which we chose in our solution. So if you draw circles with radius 2r star, it will cover all the points. So that is the case one actually. So I hope case one is clear, right? So does anyone have any doubt in case one? It's very intuitive actually, case one.
So like, but if we do not know like R star, how do we get to R star? Like we assume it's
No.
giving.
So we need not know R star actually. Like our algorithm will automatically find the actual like this R actually. And what we are showing is that this R is basically less than equal to 2 R star. So how to find that R? R you can find using this particular formula. Where is the formula? Here. This particular formula. This particular formula will give you R. And what I showed here is your R is less than equal to 2 R star. Because if you draw a circle with radius 2 R star, then we'll cover all the points. And
Yeah, like
and we are finding my algorithm is giving you the compact solution. Like my algorithm circles will be smaller than this circle or at most this circle because of the definition. Because my algorithm will basically suppose you chose the points and the algorithm like gradually starts increasing the circle size, and it will stop when once all the circles are covered. Let's say all the points are covered.
yeah,
So yeah, so we know that 2R star will cover all the points. So obviously my algorithm will stop at 2R star or will stop before 2R star. It won't go beyond 2R star actually.
yeah, okay. But like this is with the assumption that each has exactly 1 point, right? Then
Yeah, each is
yeah,
exactly 1 point. Okay. So this is the
then
case one. Okay. So let's go to case two. Okay. So what is case two? Uh, so these are the circles from the best solution. Okay. So the case two is obviously one circle has at least 2 points. Okay. So one of one of them was added first. Say I was added first by our algo. Okay. So I was added first by our algo, and then at some stage J was added. Okay. At some stage J was added. Um, so so what is the distance between like the when J was going to get added to our set V? So what is the distance between J and I here? What is the distance? It's at most 2R star. Okay. So this is very trivial, same as case one. Now, can someone tell me that why from here on every like how should I tell? Uh, okay, okay. I told you this particular thing. So why does like every point is now within 2R star distance from one of the center? Like, can someone try to get this answer?
yeah, like because the way we are choosing like our points is we select a point from within the or within those points which are already in V, let's say it's I this time, and then we select points from the part of S which is not V and find the
Hmm.
distance of all points, and then we are choosing the maximum distance. And so if
Yeah,
the maximum distance is less than 2R star, then the all points must lie within 2R star.
yeah, yeah. So what he told is absolutely correct. So I'll just write it down. So how we were choosing. So I'll just write it down again. Sorry. So we were adding j in this fashion. So basically, the moment when you are going to add j, you so you know that the distance is less than or equal to 2 r star. Okay, and this is the maximum distance among all the possible points. Okay, that's why we chose this. So if this is within 2 r star of one of the centers, then the rest of the points are also within 2 r star of one of the centers. Because of this, the way we chose r. So in this case also, our circle's radius r will be less than equal to 2 r star. So these two cases are exhaustive. Like there are no other case. Like the only possible cases are every circle has exactly one point from our solution, or the other case. So in the other case, one of the circles should have 2 points at least. So this is the analysis. Okay. So I hope the analysis was beautiful. Like I hope you analysis is done. So I hope you enjoyed this analysis actually. So so is everything clear? So is this, in case you have doubt, you can ask actually. So can someone confirm whether it's clear or not?
It's clear to me.
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah. So okay. So I'll just show. Okay. Yeah. So now I'll sort of formally sort of define what approximation algorithm is right now. So suppose like okay, so for minimization I'll tell similar definition exists for maximization. Suppose you want to minimize some quantity x, okay, and let its minimum value be x star, and my algorithm gives x algo. So we say we have a approximation algorithm. This is a fraction. So in our case, we have a 2 approximation algorithm. Because our solution will be at most 2 times the optimal solution. So that's why this is the factor by which we are bad. Okay. So our algorithm was a 2 approximation algorithm. So this is the small definition of approximation algorithm. So just this is another simple problem which will be shorter actually. Now, so this is called load balancing algorithm, and this also intuitively you can do it actually. Okay, so so what we have here, say you have some how should I tell? Okay, so you have some M machines. Okay. Okay, and say you have some like we call it jobs, but let me for some objects we can call it. Say objects have weight wi. So object I has weight wi, and we want to distribute the objects among these machines so that the maximum weight among the machines is minimized. Okay. So mathematical would be like, suppose you assign, like you distributed the objects, okay, among these machines. Okay, so its total weight of this machine, I let it be wi, w1, w2, up to wi, say, and choose the maximum weight. Okay. So maximum weight, so maximum weight will be wi, 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 So let the maximum weight be W. So our aim is to minimize this W. So I hope this problem statement is clear. So is it clear?
It's not clear to me. Like, what do we mean by objects here? Like, are they the same number as the number of machines?
They can be of any number, say n. So you have object 1, 2, 3. Think objects as say some say consider objects as say water bottle, and you have to you have to say distribute the water bottle. Like you have to keep water bottle in some baskets, okay? And you don't want to burden the baskets that much, so you want to minimize the maximum weight on the baskets.
Okay, so like each of the machines can get like more than one objects, right?
Yeah, they can get more than one object. Yeah.
And the value or the, let's say for a water bottle, we can say the amount of water it stores, right? So is it
Yeah.
same for all objects, or like is that too varying?
Yeah, it's varying, different.
Okay. We can
Yeah.
consider like coins, different denominations.
Yeah, you can consider that also. Yeah. So and you don't want to burden each basket that much. So you want to minimize the maximum weight which is possible. So so that is the thing. So formal way would be say you have W, which is the maximum among all Wi, and our aim is to minimize the W. Okay. So okay, so what is the natural algo which comes to your mind?
We can start like we first find the, like we arrange all the weights, like all the objects in their decreasing order. Okay. And
Yeah, that thing you can do. Yeah.
then select the m most like the m largest of them, and we make sure that all the m largest go in different baskets or like the different machines.
You're almost near, but can you? Okay, so assume that I gave you. Okay, the decreasing order part is absolutely perfect. Suppose the weights are coming in decreasing order. So I say I gave you one object only right now, and I'm asking you to place in some basket. So what would be a natural choice?
Like there is only one object,
No
and
means no means suppose so you have lot of objects, okay, and you arrange them in decreasing order, okay,
yeah,
and you and now say you are placing the like you are picking one object at a time and you are going to place in the basket, okay.
yeah.
So what would be a greedy choice there? So what would be, you think? Like suppose right now, suppose some the basket is filled with objects. Suppose, and you pick up the next object. So in which basket will you place this object? In like naturally, like what would be your in greedy choice?
One which is still empty, like if it's empty,
Or
like
it's of less weight, basically.
yeah.
Yeah. So that is the algo basically. So you sort the weights by uh, in decreasing order. So let it be W1, W2 up to WN. Then for I is equal to 1 to N, what we do, we add I to the machine which has the least weight right now. So we can illustrate with example also. So we have say 7, 6, 4, and say 2 maybe. So you have two machines, suppose two machines. So when we'll add 7 here, say. Next, we'll add 6 here. Now for 4, the least loaded machine is like the machine with least weight is 6. So we'll add 4 here. So it will become 10. So now 2 will add to this first machine because it has the least weight. So it's 9. Okay. So this is the algorithm. Okay.
So like one thing, like the n has to be a multiple of m, right? Then in the
No, it can be not it can need not be multiple. Like suppose you had 1, then you add 1 here, so it will become 10. So it need not be multiple of 10 like m. It can be anything.
okay, got it.
Yeah. So now the analysis. Okay, I'll leave one part for you. Like I'll give you a okay. I'll give you a 3/2 approximation. Okay. So by that I mean, say your say the best you could have done was W star. Okay. I show that mine won't be worse than this 3/2 W star. Okay. So how do we show it? Okay. So so let us establish some inequalities, which is easy. Okay. So so you get why so why this inequality is true. So say the W star is the least possible. Sorry, not this thing. I'm sorry, my bad. I mean this thing. Okay. So why is this true? So W star is the least possible weight which you can get. So I'll explain the reason. Like it's very simple. So what is this? So the summation of all weights by m. So basically it's the average weight. Okay. So it's the average weight. So these are the m machines. So this is the average weight. So obviously your say sum of weights on one machine, okay, which has the maximum weight among all the machines, can't be less than average. Yeah, because if it's less than average, then what happens? Suppose for contradiction, assume that this is less than equal to average. Then this happens, and so basically m times W star is less than sum of the weights, but we told that this has the maximum weight, which is W star, which means the remaining machines have weight less than W star. So, and that's if you sum them up, basically they're sum of the weights basically. So it would mean sum of the weights is less than this particular expression is less than sum of the weights, which is wrong. Like is a contradiction. So that's why this particular inequality will hold true. So it's very simple. Like your average will be less than equal to your maximum weight. And the second inequality is, consider the maximum weight. So that is less than equal to W star. Obviously, because this weight will go to some machine, so that some machine will have weight at least Wi. So, and your W star will be greater than equal, should be at least Wi. Because otherwise this will become the maximum weighted machine. So that's why this is the inequality, second inequality. Okay. Okay. So I'll present a smaller proof. I'll show first that is two approximation. Okay, and then if time permits, I'll show 3/2 and 4/3, like if possible. So okay, so suppose the algorithm which we proposed, consider the last job which was going to get added. So it is this J. So say this is the total weight. So I'm graphically assume this. So when it was going to get added, this weight is less than or equal to these weights, because we are adding to the least weighted machine. Okay. So we have okay, so yeah, this was the last job. Just one second. No. Okay, just pardon me. Not the last job. Okay. So let this be the maximum weighted machine in our algorithm, by our algo. Okay, and say this job, so this way object J was the last object which was added to this machine. Okay, so when it was going to be added, so look at the remaining weights in this machine. It was less than the other machine's weights. That's why it was added here. Okay, so let the total weight be W something. So W is, say, this remaining weight, say W dash plus this weight of this machine J. Okay, and okay, and so this W dash is less than equal to all these machines weights. Okay, which also means that it is less than equal to average also. Okay, total average. So this W dash is less than equal to the total average.
So like, are we considering like at any particular time or just the last weight?
No, means what I'm at. Okay, at that. Okay, so what I'm saying is that consider that particular time when this job J was going to get added to the maximum weighted machine, and this job J is the maximum weight. Okay, not job J. I mean this machine has the maximum weight actually. After, and this job J will be the last job in this machine. So if you look at this remaining portion, it will be less than the machine weights here at that point. And after that point, even if job gets added to these machines later on, still this property will hold, that this particular portion weight is less than the weights of these machines, because only
Yeah.
it can increase, not decrease later on.
Yeah, but like, how can we ensure that this one will be the max weight one?
No, I'm just telling that focus on the max weight one.
Okay, okay, okay. Assuming that like we have found it.
Yeah. So when the reason we added with job J to this machine was because at that point of time this was the least loaded machine. Like it had the least
Yeah.
weight among all the weights at that point. Okay. Because of the greedy nature in the way which we are adding. So this particular portion will be less than the average of all the weights. That is quite obvious. Because of the fact that this less than the weights of these machines all. So obviously it has to be less than the average. Otherwise, it will cross these machines actually. So how should I tell? Yeah, it should be less than average. Yeah, fine. Mathematically, how should I show? Okay, so let me show. Like, is it clear why it is less than this particular expression is less than equal to this average value?
The W dash would be less than average, but like I didn't
Yeah.
get how W dash plus WJ would be.
No. That part I was going to write.
Okay, okay, okay.
And yeah. So this WJ will be less than equal to the maximum among all WIs. That is pretty much simple. Okay. And so what did we, and we showed that each of this expression is less than equal to W star. So this will be less than equal to 2W star. So we have a two approximation algorithm here. So this is clear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the idea behind 3/2 approximation? Um, okay, the idea behind 3/2 approximation is that uh, so should I tell the idea? Okay. The idea is that if you consider the first m jobs, okay, when m jobs I mean m objects, then you're basically placing it correctly. Actually, like correctly in the sense means, suppose you had exactly m jobs, then you would have and you have m machines, then placing each object in one machine is actually the ideal thing which you can do. Okay, so that's the ideal thing which you can do. So yeah uh, yeah, so that's the ideal thing which you can do. So the idea is that okay, the idea is that if you have exact like if you have at most m jobs, then you will actually find the correct answer, like the best answer. Okay, say you have more than m objects, then uh, what will happen is that okay, just give me 1 second, when I have to think 1 second. Just give me 1 second. we have more than m jobs, then one of the machines will have two objects. Okay, fine. I got the answer. I just had to recall. Okay, so if we have more than m jobs, m objects, then consider the object, this object, wm plus 1. So wm plus 1 is the m plus 1 object in the order in which we kept. Okay. So this so if you try to observe, so if you have w star, okay, if you have, okay, so this w star, okay, so if you consider the first m plus 1 objects, okay, so in any solution by pigeonhole principle, one machine should have two jobs, two objects, for sure, at least from this first m plus 1 objects. Okay, there should be two such objects here. So it means that w star will be greater than equal to sum of these two objects. Okay, and what is the weight of each of these two objects? It will be greater than equal to 2 times wm plus 1, because we are considering the objects in decreasing order. So w1 is the highest, then w2 and up to say wn. So since we are looking at the first m plus 1 objects, so each object in first m plus 1 objects has a weight of at least this particular thing. So that's why by pigeonhole principle, two such objects should be part of some machine. That's why w star will be greater than equal to 2 times wm plus 1. So is this clear, this part?
I didn't get how w star greater than equal to 2, like how you wrote the inequality.
So basically, say you just focus on the first. Oh, sorry. Just 1 second. Then 1 second. Yeah. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah. Yeah. So consider the first m plus 1 object. Okay. So by pigeonhole principle, in any way you arrange the objects, one machine should have two such objects from the first m plus 1 objects.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the weight of this machine? Like, what is the minimum possible weight? Like, each sub object has weight at least wm plus 1.
Yeah.
Why? Because they are ordered in decreasing order.
Yeah.
So in any arrangement, you'll have at least this much weight. So that's why you have w star greater than equal to 2 times wm plus 1.
Yeah, like because this is the maximum weight at this point of time, like for m plus 1 objects. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why we have this inequality. So if we go here, so we had this wj and we replaced it by maximum of wi, right? So instead we can replace wj by wj is less than equal to wm plus 1, because already one jobs are already there in each machine. So this job which is getting added at the last will be at most wm plus 1, because of the order which we are choosing the objects. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you replace this by wm plus 1, then you'll get I'll write it down here. I'll erase that part better. So we have the W dash plus Wj, which is less than equal to summation of Wi by m plus Wm plus 1. This is less than equal to W star, and this is less than equal to W star by 2. So hence we have 3 by 2 W star. Okay. So for 4 by 3, I'll ask you to work in free time. It's very easy. So what I told initially, like if you have m objects, like obviously like remember ordering. So if you have m objects, then you can find the best algorithm. Very easy, like just place each object in one machine. Okay, if you have less than equal to m objects, and that's how we got our 3 by 2. Okay. What I claim now is if you have less than equal to 2m objects, then in that case also you can get the best possible algo. How? Just use our algorithm, you'll get best possible algo. Okay. So you just need to analyze for the case where you have more than 2m objects. So just use this idea and try to get 4 by 3 algo in your free time. So yeah, so so basically this is the like main idea. Like in recording also you can just have a look at it again. So that's what, so basically what we looked at is greedy algorithms, which are approximation algorithm too. And in CS research, like you have two parts. So you first you have to propose the algo and you have to do the proper analysis. Okay. In usually in our courses they just deal with the algo and they run away, but analysis is also quite important. Okay. So when you are doing some serious research, you got to do this both kind of stuff, and it's quite entertaining actually for the analysis part. Yeah. So that's it for today. So I guess I'll save this, otherwise.
Are there any applications where these two algorithms?
So okay, so okay, just give me 1 minute. I'll just save it. Otherwise, I'll lose it. I thought I lost it last time, but somehow.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Save it. Yeah, saved. Yeah, so application is you have direct applications in ML. You have direct applications in ML. The K-center problem has applications in ML, and those you basically, if you have those K-centers, then it means you are sort of forming groups, and those are quite useful in ML applications. And if you have, and another thing is regarding this load balancing, which I told, it is actually used in operating systems. Okay, and obviously other places like natural daily life applications also, but in computer science perspective, it's in you'll have its use in operating systems. Like in operating systems, your resources are limited, so you have to distribute resources such that like sort of how should I tell, like Okay, so you want to, so you have, say, K processors in a way, okay, and they are using some resources, okay. So what you don't want is one processor to take up lot of resources. You want to sort of balance it for performance's sake. So in that case also, this has direct application in that. This problem was inspired from that only. Challenge in real operating system is, like, most of the times you don't have the control over the order in which the objects can come. Like in your operating system, it's called like jobs basically. So you can't like send it in decreasing order. So it can come in any order. So for any order, you have that two approximation thing, and so it's quite an interesting area. So.
Oh, okay.
But it has applications. These are quite classical problems. You can search in net. You'll get for load balancing. Don't search load balancing. That's the a bit uncommon name. Search machine scheduling. Actually, you'll get
scheduling.
Machine
Okay.
scheduling. Yeah. You'll get awesome things there. And K-center is classical problem. Like, and I'll upload the book also from where I took this thing. It's classical book actually. Like you'll enjoy reading that book. It's actually a bit advanced book actually. Like usually not recommended for usually it's not that I'm not recommending. Usually professors don't recommend at this stage, but I think you are well suited to read that book. Like it's very easy, like in my opinion. I read that book in my second year, so you can also read it. So
okay. Yeah, you
and
can.
so you will get like good ideas from that book. It's a very classical book actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Usually in your courses they don't go into analysis. They just tell you the algorithm and they run away. But sometimes implementing algorithm itself will be challenging. What they show you is the running time analysis, like it's order and square. All those analysis they'll show, but sometimes they won't.
They don't show the proof part, how it works. Hello.
Yeah. Sorry, I got disconnected. Yeah. So that's it for today. I'll be releasing a post on FB next week, maybe. Like I sort of need help to organize these sessions because one of my team, like sort of like you can say the teammate in this, he graduated, so I need guys to like help me at least make this post reachable to everyone, like this session, so that more people attend actually. It will be useful for them, and like more people, if they come and present their topics, you guys can present, and also so that it will be more interactive, and people will enjoy also. Because today's session I didn't like, it's nothing high-fi, like anyone can understand who did first year courses. So I usually try to maintain that kind of level only. Yeah. So thanks for attending today. I'll release the post with Google form maybe, so that if anyone is interested, they can attend. They can fill that form. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.